that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Hello everybody, welcome to the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanics. It is Platinum Explosion. I'm Dylan Blight, today joined by Nicholas Pryor.
It's your boy.
And Jono Peck, the original It's Your Boy.
What's going on, guys?
Alright, this week, Gamescom's on. There's not really a lot of PlayStation news coming out of it, unfortunately. Nothing really too interesting. I was kind of hoping for some crazy stuff to happen to talk about on the show, but nothing too crazy or exciting, unfortunately. EA has a conference. At the time we're recording this on Monday night, they will already have had their conference tomorrow. So if anything crazy PlayStation related or Star Wars Battlefront happens, which probably will, that's why we're not talking about it, because it's happening afterwards, just to cover that event. But yeah, Gamescom's
no one here likes Star Wars at all.
Well, guess what? Next week's podcast, if they show Star Wars Battlefront multiplayer, I'll probably be talking about damn Star Wars Battlefront multiplayer footage next week. And if no one wants
Way
to
to
talk
be
about
timely.
it, no, fuck off, Nick. the only big news story that came, the only big, I suppose, considerable news story that came out of Gamescom so far is at the Xbox live stream thing. I'm not even sure what exactly that thing was. It was like a Nintendo-esque Treehouse event, like live event.
Treehouse?
Sure. Yeah, like you know Nintendo Treehouse?
Nah.
Like they do the.
Sorry.
It's like their conference.
This
things.
is a PlayStation podcast.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Isn't that a Simpsons thing?
Yeah, I was thinking Treehouse of Horror.
Treehouses of Horror. So the biggest game announced so far really has just been this Jurassic World game. It's it's called Jurassic World Evolution. It's like a park, Sim
City.
Tycoon, Sim City, whatever you want to call these types of games. So you're going to look after the park, move your little barricades around, trains, buses, planes and automobiles, and you get to breed dinosaurs. If that sounds like your type of thing, then you're going to be really excited for this game. I know it's made by people who make quite the big, famous versions of these sorts of games. I can't. There's
some Roller Coaster Tycoon, Theme Park Tycoon.
Yeah, all those. Yeah, that's
All the
like all the big ones. I'm not really into these sorts of games. The Jurassic Park aspect has been kind of like stroking my imaginary beard. Kind of, maybe I'd be interested in checking out a Jurassic Park sim game, just because I do like dinosaurs, and I wouldn't mind breeding some dinosaurs, having them, growing up my own little baby dinosaurs. That sounds fun. Does this game interest anyone else, Nick?
I'll give it a go if it's cheap enough. Like, I love playing, like, I think it was Roller Coaster Tycoon back on Windows 95, and that was great, but I haven't really had the urge to play those type of games since then.
I played a lot of
Jono?
Theme Park back in the MS-DOS days.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was fun. But then I played it on as a PlayStation Classic a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Not quite as good as I remember.
Theme Possible was better.
Yeah.
Probably not. No.
It's it doesn't excite me too much. I was saying before, I can't wait to play it as a free PS Plus game one day.
I'm pretty sure there's already a mobile game out there that's pretty much exactly this anyway.
This game looks like. Did you watch the trailer? Anyone check it
I
out?
watched a short snippet of on Facebook where a T-Rex busts out of the pen.
All right. Well, I saw like a them panning around the world, like kind of I presume what the gameplay kind of from above aspect thing. And I was like, oh, graphically this looks pretty cool, and it looks like the Jurassic World Jurassic Park, which was cool. I was like,
Haven't seen it.
Haven't you seen Jurassic World?
No,
Really?
doesn't interest me at all.
Are you not a Jurassic Park fan at all?
I love the first two.
Really? And then
Yeah.
just like three.
Three was
Four.
okay. Four,
Three.
that just looks stupid to me.
All right. Well,
Especially
this
the
is
genetic engineered shit.
This is a tie-in. This game is coming out on June 22nd, which is the same day that Star Wars Jurassic World. I've got fucking Star Wars on the brain, guys. I can't help it. I did watch some Star Wars today as well. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom comes out. It's the same day this game's coming out. So if you're excited for Jurassic Park, I will check it out if it's at a reasonable price level. It was announced at the Xbox things, which makes me go, that's an interesting deal. Like, whose money's going pocket-wise there? Because it just seems like something they could announce.
It's a game
any day of the
to draw all those teraflops out of your new hardware.
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Sure. If you,
They have to take what they can
We're not
get.
gonna
They have to take what they can get.
we're not gonna shit talk the fucking
Fuck 'em,
Scorpio.
I will.
You
Shit
would.
talk everyone.
No, let's not. All right, so let's move on to the big. Last week, I didn't really want to talk about I mentioned like Hellblade trophies and stuff like that, but I didn't want to talk about the game properly until I'd finished it because it's just such an experience of a game that I wanted to fully see it through to the end until I had talked about it on the show. And Nick, you're about a little bit over halfway from where I gathered talking to you about it before. Jono has not played it, so it'll be interesting to hear what his
I love
things
it.
about it. So
I love it.
it's Hellblade. I'm going to start this. So I finished Hellblade last night. Suena's Sacrifice. Senua. Senua.
Senua's
Sacrifice. I don't think that's quite right. I think that's a completely different game. Hellblade, but Hellblade's probably might be my game of the year so far. Ooh. It's definitely on the contender list. It's definitely like top 2, if not number 1 currently. And big call, I know I only finished it last night, but it also probably has one of my favorite video game performances in it ever. Like up there with like Last of Us level performance. Like until playing this, it was very much like Last of Us was my go-to for mocap acting, that whole sort of thing. This is up there right next to it. As far as I'm concerned.
It's interesting to note too. I watched a dev diary about it, and the actress that did it did
it's
mocap
not an actress.
work. She did mocap work for Devil May Cry, and they kept her on. Yeah. And she had not done any acting before at all. Like she's
an editor there or something. She's an editor.
Yeah. She had to get acting lessons, and like she couldn't even speak in front of people.
Nope. And yet she gives such a powerful, emotional. Solo. She's basically just the lead, carries this whole game by herself constantly. There's barely any other characters in it for the majority of the part, real characters. A lot of it's just her talking to herself. Spoilers. And it's not spoiler. She has voices in her head. It's just basically a lot of it's just her doing it herself. And there's so many shots where she'll turn to like the camera and she'll perform towards like you. Like she's not speaking to you, but they kind of play it like she's speaking it to you, but she's like speaking to the voices. And it is crazy good mocapping it. Like this crazy,
insane,
great performance. When you get to the end of the game, I don't know. It's I really it's crazy because when this game was coming out, it's like people knew. It's like it was Hellblade. That's like that Heavenly Sword spiritual success. It was announced at like a PlayStation conference. Like, what is it? Like a $50 PSN game? Yeah, it's probably gonna be shit. Like they messed up Devil May Cry. Blah blah blah. I'm not buying their games anymore. I was like, it looks cool. I like Viking stuff. I want to play this game. The idea of dealing with psychosis in a video game, that sounds cool. And then you play this and you're like, holy shit, guys! Yeah. Like if you doesn't have this on your radar, you're really missing out.
Yeah, it's definitely out there for my game of the year too. Yeah. It's interesting to note too, like 2 games in 1 year come out with the 2 main characters with a similar sort of visual style. With
Horizon,
Aloy.
So this is a very different character to Aloy.
Oh yeah, very much so. Like the amount of people that jumped into the stream when I was doing it, going, "Oh, I thought this was Horizon" when I first jumped in.
Yeah, definitely not. Lots a lot darker, a lot more mature themes. Now, the only thing I'd warn with this game is like I would highly suggest everyone check it out if you're able to. I will give the following warnings. It's very confronting, very dark. You must play it with headphones. If you're not playing it with headphones, you're playing it wrong. However, playing it with headphones will probably make you want to stop playing it at first because there's moments where the sound design in this game is fucking off the charts as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially if you have good headphones, like I'm playing this in the fake surround sound headphones or whatever they call like the thing Dolby surround sound things. It is made for this game. It's crazy. I can't remember another game where I'm like, the sound design in this game's so good. The acting in this game's so good. And I mean, I know it's a game. The gameplay's fine. The battle system's fine and all that sort of stuff. A lot of the game is actually not battles. By the time you finish the game, you'll be like, I'm pretty sure I spent like 60% or 70% of this game doing puzzles or just walking along and experiencing something. Yeah. And then the other percentage is small little mini battles, and then there's a few boss fights spread out across the game, which are all cool. All of the boss fights are cool. The enemy designs are great and stuff like that. And it's a very simple combat system. It's like block or counter if you do it right, dodge, heavy attack, light attack, or like you can kick them to.
It's very
start.
it's very Dark Souls inspired, and I can imagine
Yeah.
it'll be similar to the combat in the new God of War.
Yeah, the God of War
Yeah.
combat does look very similar, doesn't it, from behind
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's not very fast. I mean, it's fast enough.
Yeah.
But
I never had a hard time playing it.
no, I don't think the game's super hard. It's probably harder than your average difficulty a little bit, but it's not like hard. The part that makes it seem a lot harder is, I think, is that just from a brain standpoint, like when you're
Yeah.
fighting the first boss, the game has no HUD ever. There's never any. You just never know what's going on, and when you're fighting a boss, I remember the first boss fight probably took me like 15 minutes, and you're swinging on this thing for ages. You're like dodging, rolling. You're getting up. You're like, the screen's kind of flashing to make you aware that you're kind of close to dying.
Yeah.
And you have no fucking idea if you're about to kill this thing, what's going on. There's more enemies, like whatever. And then it's just, and that's how it works for all the boss fights as well. It's like, you never know how close you are, and that kind of makes them scarier, I guess, like stuff like that. And the game can be scary. There's some stuff you haven't got to, Nick, later in the game that's kind of claustrophobic inducing, I feel like, so, and stuff like that. But Game of the Year contender, definitely. Possibly Game of the Year. We'll see.
I reckon it's going to win BAFTAs.
I reckon if she doesn't win an award, like I tweeted out last night, she liked my tweet. I can't remember the actress's name because I can't pronounce it.
You're
I
in,
don't want to
Dylan.
stuff it up. I don't want to pronounce her name wrongly last night. But I had to, as soon as I finished the game last night, the first thing was like, that's such a fucking this girl needs an award of some sort. And then I was like reading through Twitter, like seeing other people tweet about her, like should win a BAFTA, should win like in a video game. It's like 100% agree. If she doesn't win something for this performance, it is crazy. And the story behind it is also just like crazy, how she's like not a real actress, or quote unquote real actress. So
What does this say about me that I thought Ninja Theory, the developers, were a Japanese developer?
Racist.
Solely because of the name.
your race is like half the Explosion Network at this point. So
But just even the style of the games they make, like Journey to the West, Heavenly Sword, Devil May Cry,
They
all
sound like very Japanese RPG style names.
yeah, this game is not like any of their other games.
No, definitely not. Like, I did not expect this out of that studio at all.
It is a very, when you think of them, you think you're going to be playing, you're like, Viking game, made by Ninja, it's cool. I'm going to be smashing X, flying across the screen, combo meter, cool. Maybe there's an interesting story, but this is a very story-driven game that deals with very heavy themes. And by the time, not obviously no spoilers, but by the time you finish this game and they wrap up and the way they deal with mental health, or in this case like psychosis, and what they do with it, and how they kind of end their message on that kind of stuff, and by the end of the game I was like, you just like clap, like I can't, because it pays off. Like the game literally opens like medical research done by this person. They're not like game directed by or anything. Like the first credit you see is like, these are the people that helped us research into this this condition, and they're like, warning, if you have like problems of stuff, or like this is a violent game, this is a dark, this is, if you have like mental health psychosis, like in the past, this game will like just warnings, and we're going to deal with some shit, and they deal with some shit, and it's great. I love it.
It's also very interesting that it's released so soon, that close to God of War, where they're very similar in their look and style. The tone much different.
Yeah, it's interesting game, because it is like not a full budget game or anything like that. And
Can I ask something about this game?
Go for it. That's what you're here
How
for.
many human characters are there? Roughly.
Like mentioned, or like do you actually
Visually,
interact with
that
in
you
the game?
actually see.
Because there are ones. Okay, it's like a trick. It's kind of a hard question to answer.
Yeah,
Without spoilers.
all the characters I've interacted with have been like visions and whatnot.
So you can say less than
There's
10 or less than 20?
Yeah, less than
Okay.
10. Less than 10.
Yeah, there's one solid character that's you who plays
Sure.
that I've interacted with so far.
The reason I ask is because obviously it looks great and it was a really small studio. So on one hand, I'm thinking, is this the future of independent game development, where if they have less characters, they can make them look as good as a AAA game? Because you compare it to Mass Effect Andromeda, made by a huge company, with heaps of artists, but the characters look crap, and it's because there's so many.
Is this because you saw
Yeah.
that meme? There was a meme going
that's
around
right.
of comparing like a close up of her face in this game with the, like mocap done right compared to Mass Effect like mocap done wrong.
That's right.
They've
Completely
also done,
different games.
Yeah.
They've also done something very interesting in the one section of the game where you're interacting with like a memory/vision thing, and the other character is an FMV, like a fully
Yeah, they do
captured,
that.
and they've overlaid it in the game.
Okay.
So
They do that a few
That's pretty
times
cool.
where you're like, that's a real actor there. Like that's a
Yeah.
But because it's like done in a like they have like a filter over them, kind of because
Yeah.
it's like she's memorizing or thinking about it. It just blends in kind of really well, especially because her character design looks like pretty realistic as it is because it's
Yeah.
done really really
Yeah.
well.
I think we've
it
come
saves
to.
on like animation budgets and everything like that.
I think we've come to
Yeah.
kind of expect a lot less from character models in indie games. Like if you think of Life is Strange or something, it's more stylized, and that's how they get away with it. But it's cool to see that a small studio can do something that looks this good. That's something I've taken
This
from it.
I don't think they're a very small serious studio because they've done some pretty massive.
No, this was a
big
small
budget
team.
games.
This was like they did this with a really small team.
Oh, okay.
You'll notice it especially when you get to like the credits or whatever, and you kind of look
Right.
who's the amount of people involved compared to the amount of people you'd think be involved, especially because
Yeah.
the game looks like a AAA game. The game looks. I mean, it's a hard call to make, but it's like after this year having played Horizon, which looks fantastic, especially if you like PS4 Pro 4K TVs, like so I'm comparing everything at the highest standard here. This game, I think I'd say looks better than Uncharted 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
It's different,
I
isn't
think
it?
it's different.
Like,
I wouldn't say it's
yeah.
better, but it's very different and it does it very well.
I think when you have
It has a
very,
photo mode.
when you have very narrow setting, like landscapes and that kind of thing, you can get away
Yeah.
with it.
they're not all very narrow though. There's like
No,
beach
no.
aspects where
Okay.
you can see stuff all off in the distance and like a lot of stuff. But then yeah, a lot of stuff that does look really good. Like there's a few really dark sections I was talking about before, like claustrophobic stuff. And they're doing some really cool stuff in these sections where I was just like, this looks like something from like a Clive Barker horror movie, like something really crazy like that. And I just wanted to screenshot them like because it just I don't know, it looks great. And even the beach stuff looks really good as well. So.
Yeah. Ninja Theory has described Hellblade as an independent AAA game.
Yeah, that's a good way to
That's
describe
a good
it,
way
I
to
guess.
combine two opposites.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so check out if you didn't know about Hellblade or you was like sitting on the fence. Yeah, I'd highly suggest checking it out. It's not really a sleeper hit at this stage, but I suppose a lot of people getting turned off by the idea of the permadeath thing. No spoilers.
I have only died
but
once, and that was from falling. So
I don't want to give no spoilers, but like the way that thing plays into the game, you shouldn't be scared of it. Is all I'm going to say. Like, don't let that scare you off the game.
I think it is a sleeper hit because I had never heard of it until a week before it came out.
It kind of blew up when it came out
Yeah.
because everyone was giving
Yeah.
it 9s and 10s. So I don't to chuck out a random score. I'd probably be like a 9.5 or something like that.
Nice.
So, it's great.
So it's between that and what was your other game of the year, Horizon or Persona?
My top three, I mean, off the top of my head, this could change after we finish the podcast. But if I was just going to be like top three now, it's like this, Persona, and probably Pyre.
Okay.
This top three for me this year is Hellblade, Prey, and Breath of the Wild.
You guys are a bunch of Horizon haters.
I'm not a hater.
No, I'm just kidding.
I can only pick one Viking game.
It's okay.
One Viking game allowed, please and thank you. All right, so let's move on to the next thing to talk about is, now this is the Nick sits off to the side section and Jono gets to jump in. Last week, Undertale came out finally for non-PC, came to the PlayStation world finally.
Came to the public.
Came to the real world. I had this game, I brought this game on Steam, I never played it because I can never be bothered sitting at my computer to play a game like this. As soon as that sucker came to Vita, oh boy, was that the right place to play. Now, did you play it in the right place or did you play it on your PS4? Jono?
I played it on Vita.
Okay, good man.
Totally.
If you don't know what Undertale is, it's a indie RPG. Toby something. I can't remember the dude's name that made it. But it came out it's like 2 years ago, I think, at this stage, something like that on PC. Blew up.
Toby Fox.
Toby Fox, thank you. Huge game on PC. Was like the most talked about game for that year. The soundtracks loved, the art loved. There's like fan base crazy, wrote all sorts of fan fiction about characters. It's got a crazy fan base, and it finally came to PS4 and PS Vita, and it's as good as everyone said it was. I think because I'd been so blown up about it when it was so talked about a couple of years ago, and then I hadn't really heard anyone talk about it for like a good year because it kind of just died off, and I didn't have to keep reading about how good Undertale was. Finally get to play it, and the hype level kind of died down, which means I was just be able to play it and accept it for what it is without having these high expectations. And it is a really funny,
very
RPG weird game. And I want to point out that it is actually funny because last week or the week before,
last week
was talking about like comedy games. And I said like Tales from Borderlands and like stuff like that you should play because they're really funny, and not many games actually make me ever laugh out loud, and comedy is really a hard genre to pull off in video games. And then I play this only a couple of days after the episode, I think, and I was actually just like laughing out loud or like snickering, you know, like sitting there like just laughing at the little silly jokes and the silly character designs, and the music's fantastic. I've been listening to this Undertale remix album on Spotify like a crazy person, and I even paid like $1.50 to buy this song to put in one of my vlog videos the other day. Jono,
hey,
Undertale.
Yeah. First of all, really easy platinum.
Yeah.
Secondly, just a really fun, quirky indie game. Like, it's got so many references to, you know, old school adventure games, RPG, dungeon crawler, that kind of thing. But it somehow found a way to not just be completely derivative of those things. Like, I found the combat, or quote unquote combat, or the the RPG kinds of battle sequences, nothing like I've played before, where it combines that real time movement with the strategy. And just the fact that you can play the whole game as a pacifist is really cool as well. It's an element that I didn't realize was such a big focus of it. And I went into it probably having avoided reading about it, because it was always knowing it was a PC game, not something that I thought I'd ever play. But I kind of thought it was a much bigger game, like a bit more, like a deeper RPG.
Like longer to beat.
Sorry?
Yeah. Longer to beat.
Yeah, like I thought it was like
10, 20 hour
I thought it was like a 20-hour RPG, but I'm glad it was more story-based and condensed, and with so much humor, like you mentioned. Like, there's so many things, from visual gags to references to like tropes in video games. Like, I don't know if you ate the instant noodles as a health item, but
I did, yeah.
Cracked me up.
Yeah, the instant. It's like you put the instant noodles into the cup. You pour hot water into instant noodles. You stir the instant noodles. You put the instant noodles into the microwave. Or so, like, you like sit and wait for 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then finally you eat the instant noodles. They tasted okay. Plus 6 health.
It's hilarious. And it's such a great one, because I always think when you're playing Metal Gear or something and you have the instant noodles or the ration, like, are you just eating this frozen meal, like, raw? It's pretty gross, Snake.
The noodles, did you eat the noodles more than once? I ate it, like, I died and I had to re-eat them. The amount of health they give you is random.
The second time it was like, they taste better dry. It's like an instant.
Yeah, it's just like a random, which I appreciate.
Just little things like that just add so much, like, it's something for people who know games. Like, you're like, oh, I get that reference. Just little things like that I think make it a really special thing. And you can see that it was made with love for games, not just as to produce something completely new.
What's the gameplay like?
I was about to quickly cover like that for anyone that doesn't know. So the story is very, you fall down into this underworld somehow. I can't remember how it happens now, but you fall down into this underworld basically, and then you meet all these really weird characters, and your aim is obviously to get back to the real world. It's like Spirited Away, but not Spirited Away. If you've seen that movie, studio,
it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. It's like all these kooky characters and trying.
Yeah, but they're like ghouly. They're like none of them are nice. It's like they're all undead and skull monsters and whatever else, stuff like that.
There's some nice. Like, in the towns, there's a lot of nice characters. Yeah.
Oh, there's some nice characters. Oh, so the gameplay, as you go along, you'll have to do battles
Horses and
with random
bunnies and
doggo
dogs
wearing
and that kind of
knights, stuff like this.
Doggos.
It's your normal kind of RPG stuff. It's like attack, blah, 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 blah. So when you attack, when you defend, you're like a little heart inside like a shape.
Right.
And then like the enemy's bullets fly at you and you can't just dodge them. Or at other times, like especially in boss battles there, it gets really weird and complicated about what you're exactly supposed to be doing, dodging and selecting answers. I mean, it's at some stage you battle a TV and you're not really battling it. It's really quite interesting. It's the gameplay, and then of course the pacifist thing is like literally just making like talking decisions. I suppose like you try and tell certain people nice things that you think they'd like and stuff like this. I mean, to call it an RPG like quote unquote is just like looking for the easy answer to it, but it's not really.
There's also
normal
like
RPG.
Puzzles in the field puzzles and items that you have to pick up and use and interact with.
The game's made for set like replays and stuff like that. Like there's so many things just playing it through the first time. I was like, what does this character do? What am I supposed to do here? How am I supposed to get this thing over here? Like, do I blah 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 blah? And it does invite replays, and
there's multiple endings too.
There's multiple endings, and the final boss battle is
so weird.
It is something I've never quite played in a video game before, is one way to put it. Like, it reminds me of a game I played last year, I think. But to say like what game it was would probably give away what the boss fight's exactly right. And even though I know it's an old game at this point, it's new on PlayStation, so no spoilers.
Before we move on, there's a video that Blessing Adiole Jr. produced for OK Beast that really encapsulates what makes this game special and the thought and love that's gone into it. I'd recommend anyone interested in Undertale or who's enjoyed Undertale, go listen or watch that video because it's really cool.
The only thing stopping me from picking it up is the art style. I'm not 100% keen on.
Really?
Yeah.
It's...
Why? What about it?
I mean, I don't know. It's just...
It's made to look in a certain way, and the character designs are all
I
cool.
get that. It's just, it doesn't pique my interest.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I didn't like it the first time I ever saw it on PC, but it's kind of like, it's stylized. Definitely, it's cute. It's some of the characters that look pretty cool once you get into the game.
Once you get into the game,
yeah.
I'm gonna say, and the last thing I was going to point out about the trophies and the comedy is the dude, like, you can just tell he does not give any shits about trophies at all, and the trophy list is its own like comedy factor. It's like your first item trophy, second item trophy, third item trophy, fourth item trophy, and like the fourth trophy is just called like I'm out of ideas now or something like that. And he literally
you can get them like in 10 seconds. By just picking up 4 items straight away.
You get the last trophy you get, like if you're going for the platinum, the last trophy you'll unlock like chronologically is as you're entering the last dungeon towards the boss battle, and it's just like good luck, so you don't even need to beat the game. And then the majority, like half of the trophies for the platinum, are a bunch of trophies for giving money to a dog shrine. The dog shrine has been added into the PlayStation version of the game, literally for the trophies, basically. So it's not in the PC version. He just like made a shrine thing, and then added trophies because it's so that trophy people will literally just waste 20 minutes to half an hour to sit there and put money into this shrine thing for no purpose other than to pop trophies. It is like the biggest troll, hilarious, but of course
it's great.
We did it.
It's so self-aware, yeah.
It's
like because you have to put 350 gold into it, but you can only put in one
coin at a time. So you literally have to sit there, spam X and circle, like X circle, thing, trophy.
And both of you did it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course. Of course I did.
It's easy. You get a trophy like every 2 minutes. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I mean, I didn't play this game for the easy platinum. I'll take the easy platinum.
Is it cross-buy?
Yeah. But, yeah. So you can play on PS4.
One trophy list.
Whatever you want. My biggest call-out for this game, to how much I quite enjoyed it, was that even though I've got the platinum, I've left it on my Vita, because I will, if I want to jump back in and just randomly like try and do a pacifist or like something like that, I'll happily jump back in because I just really enjoy it. And I really love I've mentioned the soundtrack a lot. I'm quite a big fan of the soundtrack in this game. It's really great.
Imagine if there was a trophy for a pacifist run. That would be.
I mean, I'd do it.
That would have been a ballsy move.
There's probably just a walkthrough to help you get through it easy as anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
what was it, like 2 weeks ago or whatever? I can't remember these shows and how they go now. 5.0 details started to leak. 5.0 official details came out last week. The news story went up. Here's PlayStation 5.0 details. I clicked on the link and was like, yes, this is going to be something really epic and cool. And it's boring, and there's nothing really.
What are the details?
At all. The biggest things are basically Twitch streaming, 1080p, 60 frames per second.
Oh,
PS4
fuck
Pro.
yes!
You can now broadcast in VR and read the chat, which is actually a cool feature. If you're a VR streamer, I suppose. VR now supports 5.1 and 7.1 surround sound in cinema mode, and then a couple other things to do with like Twitch streaming and VR and like your normal typical. You can now like friends. You can like send them Spotify links for music, like a bunch of stuff that could be like 4.8 or something, like 4.9. But the big 5.0 update is nothing too eventful. It's a bit of a.
Will you guys stream in VR? Do you think?
I would if I had the setup. If I had the ability to do it. Like next, I can't.
So how does that work? Can you use the camera to also stream as well?
Good question. To which I don't think
you need 2 cameras.
That would be weird. Maybe it does let you capture the image while it's using VR. I mean,
maybe it's just an image feed.
Yeah, I mean, it just
Like-
takes the exact same image feed.
Yeah.
I really don't know. The chat thing is probably the coolest thing from the update.
Yeah.
That's actually a cool feature. I've never streamed in VR. Nick's never streamed in VR.
No.
I've looked at people. I've watched VODs on YouTube of people's live streams, especially. I watched one the other day to try and find something I needed for the stupid paranormal activity game. But you can't see. And then I saw in the comments the guy like, it was really good to stream this one because I could actually see what you guys were saying for once. And that was a first. Because all this dude does is stream PSVR games and you can never read the chat. So it'd be like, what, play for 20 minutes, like lift helmet up, like, what?
Answer 20 questions.
Yeah, no, it's good games. Yeah, it's really good. All right, bye. Boom, back into the like most non-paying attention to Twitch stream ever. So that's actually a cool feature. The rest of it's just kind of meh. Who really cares? You can now like tournament standings. There was another thing. You can now like tie community. You can stream straight to a community on the PlayStation. But who really uses those PlayStation communities?
Yeah, they're the most fucking useless thing ever.
Like they're there. They exist. I don't know anyone who's like, oh yeah, in the such and such community on my PS4 the other day, such and such said this. It's like, who's using those?
They're
Forums are
redundant
dead.
now.
Like
these
they're
days.
not a thing that's going to be a thing. So I don't know, but there's your details about PS4
Yay.
5.0 update.
Or you can also now follow anyone on.
Oh,
PSN.
that's right. Yeah. But I mean, that's once again,
That's
it's
nothing.
like
Yeah.
it's
Who
like
cares?
cool, I guess, but 5.0 feature really, guys. Like, I don't really think it's that big of a deal.
Is Sony dropping the ball lately?
Well, they are, because the next news story is some group called Our Mind has hacked Sony's Twitter. As of right now, it's was before I checked recording, it was still an ongoing thing. They've hacked Sony's Twitter. They're asking for the. I don't know, really know. They were just like
And Facebook. Hacked their Facebook as well.
They're just posting random crap, and they were just basically like, can you just send someone from Sony to contact us for something really?
Yeah, they're a security company.
Yeah.
claim
They
to
want
be.
to change. They want to change their PSN name, so they've hacked.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? They're like, we want the real 5.0 update, guys. Not this crap you've gave us. To which I say, Sony, get 2-factor authentication on. Just add that 2-factor. Might solve all your problems.
It's kind of hard when probably literally thousands of people need access to it.
Look, just give it to Shuei.
It's hard enough for 7 of us.
Hard enough for us, yeah.
Add that. Just get Shuei to have the mobile number that's doing it.
I'm not too concerned about this. They
Never
don't
mind,
have
it's
control over Facebook and Twitter security, where all their own stuff they do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a sign to say, their main servers are going to get hacked and all their details are going to get out there.
Yeah, I saw people acting like
Not
that.
again.
Like, this is the PSN. It's the PSN hack again. I'm like, not really the same, because PSN is actually their fault and like their security and all that sort of thing. If PlayStation's Twitter gets hacked, It's the same as if anybody else's
Yeah.
Twitter got hacked, which
It's
happens quite often. However, when it's a video game company, it's like...
Yeah, all you have to do is guess a password for Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, it's not... So, yeah, that's Twitter's fault, really. Unless they didn't have two-factor on Sony. At which point it is your fault. All right, let's move on. We're flying through today's show, guys. It's going quite swimmingly. Hashtag every trophy counts.
Sorry, before we get into this, I want to say something about Sony too. It came out today at Gamescom that another developer is coming out saying that Sony's dropping the ball with cross-platform stuff as well. The developer of Ark is saying they have it running in their own stuff, but Sony won't let them have it. Do you think... I think Sony's dropping the ball. Like, they're going to... Like, it's a different world nowadays. Like, what do they have to lose by it? By enabling it?
That's just what they've always done.
They're running the show. They don't have to follow anyone else. That's what they think.
Yeah, they're in the lead. They can make the decisions, do what they want. I don't really... There was another game that they did this for and everyone freaked out, but then it's like everyone was over it a week later anyway. I can't remember what the game was now, though.
Rocket League or Minecraft or something?
Something like
Rocket
that.
League and Minecraft previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably both of those at separate points people freaked out, but then it's like a week later everyone's like, well, probably wasn't going to use that feature anyway, to be honest, so maybe it doesn't matter. Alright, so last story / hashtag every trophy count story is, so I was going to make this a main topic this week. The problem did get solved though, so it became a non-issue. Square Enix posted the list for Life is Strange, the prequel series, before the Storm's trophy list went up. One of the trophies was a DLC trophy that comes with the deluxe edition of the game, and it was tied to the main DLC trophy list, which would mean that if you did not have the deluxe edition of the game, you would be unable to get the platinum. To which a lot of people screamed, "Why does that fucking matter? It's a non-issue." To which, of course, it is an issue because to a lot of people that is an actual issue, and if this is a thing, it would mean you're putting a money wall on a platinum, which would have been a first, and it still is a first if it happens. However, just yesterday, luckily, or else I was going to complain about this quite a lot and scream at Square Enix most of the show. Square Enix did post up saying that it was an error. To which point I said, did you get the casual worker or the new guy to do the damn trophy list update or something like that? Goodness gracious, guys. They said it was an error and they're looking into contacting the first parties to get this fixed. I still see people on the internet freaking out about it because they mustn't have read the follow-up or seen Square Enix's response, I guess, or something like that. So, yeah, if you've read that story early in the week, but you haven't checked back on it to see what's become of it, they're looking into it. I personally think they're fucked because knowing what Sony's like with their with the names and everything, those trophies are locked into the system, guys. I think they're just stuck. I would be highly surprised if they can fix it.
I think they can fix it pretty easily. Like you see how they add trophies.
Adding
you
trophies?
see how they add them. I'm sure that there's a way to subtract.
Subtract them, you reckon?
They have
with
the
Sony
power
and their system.
I think if they can't get a fix on Sony's end, they'll have to include the DLC in all the editions.
Well, wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that work out a lot better? But I doubt that would happen. If they can't fix it, they'll just be like...
Do you have the details on the DLC? Like, what is it?
I thought the whole thing was DLC. Why is there DLC on this DLC?
It's a bonus.
It's a standalone game.
It's like 3 episodes. Right. It's 3 episodes in the series, and the deluxe edition comes with one little bonus short mission, think a half-hour thing or something like that.
So is this kind of like 400 days was between season 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead?
Yeah, basically. They announced they're doing season 2, and then they announced this prequel series at E3 after doing a David Jaffe and being like, we're not at E3, and then they announced the prequel series anyway. So that's a thing. And then for some reason if you look on the PlayStation Store, I don't like this because it's so easy. It's all the Walking Deads and Telltale games and all that sort of stuff. It's like, here is the single episode. It costs $8 or whatever it is to buy it. Here is the season pass. You pay $50 or whatever it is, and that gets you all the episodes. I'm looking at Life is Strange. It's like, here's the single episode. Here is the normal edition, and here is the deluxe edition. I'm like, why is there a deluxe edition for one of these types of games? And it's for some extra content. And I'm like, why? This seems like an interesting choice to
just
do.
give it to us.
Just
charge
put it
more,
in-
give it to us all
Yeah,
at once.
Just charge $5 more and put it in the main freaking game, guys. Like, don't make a thing out of it. All right, so trophy-wise, I have 4 games to quickly cover, guys, to shout out. I got 4 platinums in the last week since the last show.
Well done, Dylan.
So I've been putting in the work. So I just wanted to cover them all real quickly to give shout-outs. Pixel Gear, as I mentioned, very easy platinum VR game. You just shoot a bunch of... It's a tower defense game. It'd probably take you a couple hours. Fun. Fun enough for the time you play it. And then you get a platinum. Cool. Tiny Tracks.
Yeah.
Huh? Did I say VR? Yes.
I was going to say, did you say you have 4 since the last episode of this show?
Yeah.
So how many in the last 2 weeks?
I don't know. No
Is that
idea.
like 7 in the last 2 weeks?
Possibly. I don't really know.
That's like more
But 4
platinums than some people have.
And it doesn't care either way. It doesn't matter either way.
It does. Don't talk shit on my show. The Tiny Tracks, not hardish. It's a Future Lab game, so you have to like get good at the game. And if you've read my review for Tiny Tracks, you'd know to get good at this game can be quite an issue. However, I played so much of it, getting really annoyed just trying to finish it before they patched the difficulty. That when they've since patched it to make it a little bit easier, and I was like, wow, I'm suddenly pro at this game because I was playing it when it was so hard. I think so. I got those mechanics down, and I grabbed the platinum for that. I didn't think I was going to, but I just sat there one Arvo. I was like, I'll jump back in and check out the new patch. That's easier. And then I suddenly like got the highest thing you need on like a Grand Prix. I was like, I might try a next one. And then I got the above gold cup, platinum cup that you need. I'm like, another platinum. And I'll just keep going and just keep going. And I was like, I'm on a roll here with this Tiny Tracks.
Did you tell Future Labs that you got the platinum?
I did tweet at Future Lab and say I got the platinum, and they said good job. So
I thought they would enjoy that.
Thanks, guys. Also, shout out to PSN profiles. I'm like number 5 of the first achievers for that platinum. Put that on my gravestone, motherfuckers. Undertale, as we mentioned, easy and hilarious platinum. That was the one I got, and then Hellblade's platinum I got last night. Hellblade, every single trophy bar 1 is not missable. All of the trophies bar 1 you will get by the time you finish the game. The one trophy that you can miss is a collectibles lore stone trophy. There's like 44 lore stones. I missed a couple in the first 5-ish chapters, and after I finished the game, I started another game and super ran through the game to find the ones that I missed, and that was another platinum. That was great. So I like getting platinums in games I really like, because then they're shiny and they're there, and I like them and all sorts of stuff. So PSN profiles, couple games, trophy list went up. One that Jono's excited about, Thimbleweed Park, has a platinum. A lot of trophies look quite crazy. They're like, there's like things. It's like a complete part 1, complete part 2, all these sorts of parts. But then there's like really random like adventure game sounding things like use Ransom's itch cream, visit every hotel on the floor, read 100 books in the library, push the circus mime over. Like you can, like a lot of these I presume you won't get unless you trying for a particular like ending.
It'll be like Day of the Tentacle.
It's very much like
We have to ring the bell 100 times. Or
stuff like that. I presume it's like if there's a guide, very straightforward, you probably know what you're doing. But when you're playing through the game for the first time or whatever, just to play it and enjoy it, that you probably won't get many of the trophies. But it's nice that the game has a platinum because I
tweeted out to Ron Gilbert a few weeks ago, and he confirmed that in an earlier episode of Platinum Explosion that I think you probably haven't listened to, Dylan.
No, I never actually listened to that one, to be honest. It's the one episode I haven't listened to with this podcast.
You missed the scoop.
I made the decision to listen to catch up on our Alpha Podcast Pleasure Explosion instead of Platinum Explosion. The other trophy list that popped that's out tomorrow. Tomorrow when you're listening to this is the Uncharted Lost Legacy trophy list, but very much like an Uncharted list. Seems to have a lot more collectibles in that game, which is something I think I read in a review as well. Someone was like, this game's a damn collectathon for things you need
Banjo Kazooie.
We can't talk about it. IGN gave it 7 point something, so it's effectively trash and not worth your time.
I don't think we've ever said that we go by IGN's scale for rating games.
We do now.
If we
Executive decision.
Executive decision.
Nick said so.
Another game that I saw. I looked this up. This is like a side-scrolling beat 'em up type weird thing. The game's called Spartan. It grabbed my attention because it has a platinum, 10 golds, and 2 silvers, and the trophy list, from my gathering, seems very easy. There's a silver trophy that says first death. You got a trophy for trying, silver. If you have a trophy that says that, I'm in, guys.
I love when you get trophies for dying. When I see that, I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I can die for a silver trophy. I'm 100% down. And then there's a bunch of golds for completing certain levels, and then there's a couple of golds and silvers for just collecting X amount of coins. You collected 15,000 coins. You collected 50,000 coins.
That sounds like hard work.
That sounds like a lot, depending on how many coins you get per run of a level in a game, I suppose. But if you get a decent amount, and the game's cheap, or on PS Plus in about 6 months, I'm going to get that damn platinum. And
yeah, they need to start putting out PS Plus games that are just like easy platinum.
Easy platinum.
That's the appeal.
I would pay $70 or whatever it is a year for that sort of thing. Is all I'm going to.
That's all you want. Why can't Energy? What's it called? Energy Cycle.
Energy
Cycle should be the next PS Plus game.
Yeah, I paid like $11 for those 2 platinums though.
Yeah.
They're going to patch that, so it's not easy. And shout out, big news, everyone! Since last week, I did on eBay find my copy of Book of Potions for $4 something, the disc only, and for $15, I found a copy of Wonderbook, Walking with Dinosaurs. So I now have my Wonderbook collection on its way, and I will be the first person, maybe not the first person in the world, but I will be one of the only people in the world, eventually, to own the platinum in every single Wonderbook game ever made.
How do you know that?
I don't know that. I'm just presuming no one else paid enough to platinum all the Wonderbook games. Finding this damn Walking with Dinosaurs game has been proven to be like it's
you
like
should get a platinum
mystery.
for that in itself.
Are these easy platinums? Is that what the chase is about?
A couple of them are. The Harry Potter ones are easy platinums. The other 2 are like not hard, but like require a bit more effort. But I was like, owning the platinum in every Wonderbook game is just funny. Like, because I wanted to do the Harry Potter ones because I did Book of Spells. Fun game. Legit. Like, if you like Harry Potter, fun, cool kids game. So I wanted to do the Book of Potions one, and then I was like, well, that's 2 out of 4. I might as well go the full damn collection here, and then go down in history as one of the only people to platinum every Wonderbook game. Kids these days don't even know Wonderbook. They watch E3 conferences. They don't understand what it was like watching that E3 conference. And here, let's talk about Wonderbook for 30 freaking minutes. Great job, PlayStation. Absolutely fantastic job on that one. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this show. Great time. It's Hellblade. Play it. Undertale.
Yeah, definitely.
Play it. 2 great games this week. I don't actually know what's coming out this week. Nothing as good as Hellblade or Undertale.
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. Haven't played it. Not as good as Undertale or Hellblade. Is my prediction. Sorry.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I won't see. I'm not planning to pick it up quite now.
Me either.
Contact me, Naughty Dog or Sony.
I'll see then.
A copy. Thank you. Nick, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Lord Emperor, Prior.
Jonathan?
And I'm on the trifecta of shows this week too.
Oh my goodness.
Well done, Nick.
Thank you.
Hat trick. You can find me on Twitter at Jono himself, and check out my latest episode of Putting in Work. I just had tech editor Tim Biggs from Fairfax on to talk about mainstream media's approach to games journalism, how that differs from your IGNs, which he used to freelance for, and just, I guess advocating for games journalism in traditional media. It's quite interesting.
Check it out. Put in work, like some of us put in work to get trophies. You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, VIVALADIL. Don't forget to follow the Explosion Network account, which is at ExplosionPod, and head to explosionnetwork.com and rate the show on iTunes and anywhere else that you listen to it. Please, if you rate it, a little gremlin sneaks into your house, puts a coin next to your table, and like it turns into a lollipop, and then that lollipop turns into a chainsaw, and the chainsaw cuts down your bed, and then your bed falls backwards, and then you slide into a black hole, and then all of a sudden you're in Westeros, and you're like traveling through black holes and traveling around the world, and it's great and it's amazing. And that was a Game of Thrones joke. You should go to our YouTube and watch South of King's Landing, the penultimate episode this week. Nick, let's not talk about it. We just recorded that. It's
the best episode of the whole season.
It's over.
Of South of King's Landing.
Not of Game of Thrones.
No. Just because
of South of King's Landing.
Yeah.
It's his only
Plat,
episode.
This August on the Explosion Network. If you want more of this good stuff, check us out every week on podcast services and YouTube. Pleasure Explosion, the original Explosion pod, goes up every Monday. Our PlayStation podcast, Platinum Explosion, hits on Tuesdays. And we get into some sports discussion with grandstand gurus each and every Thursday. Make sure to keep up with explosionnetwork.com for all the latest content, including weekly stream schedules, reviews and reacts, plus our Game of Thrones reaction show, South of King's Landing. Plat plat.
Then,
I'm
gonna have to edit this out. I can't. Your voice is
Your voice is going like super deep.
The listeners won't even notice. I'll fix it.
It's so hard to say. I couldn't. I was going to try, but I couldn't do a whole show like that.